see what you think. And then I'll just play your ads. Yeah, send me. Oh, yeah.
Greetings, Senator Alicia, Chucky, Hansen, in Jesus Christ's name. This is Wayne Foxman Adams. Awesome. How are you? Well, I'm fine. Thank you, Senator, in Jesus Christ's name. How are you doing? And how is in Christ? The joy is wonderful. A lot of people are actually following the rules and the orders. Some are not, especially of the public. Well, Senator, we are doing the same. We are following the news, and your free way, Blackman Adams, is trying to do like yourself and be industrious and be a focal point for the masses and be boys and women of Senator Alicia, Chucky Hansen. By the way, before we go any further, how is your immediate family, Senator? Oh, awesome. Everybody is doing the right thing. Remember, I last saw you in St. Croix. I think it was in October for the Puerto Rico Friendship Weekend, Senator Alicia, Chucky Hansen. Yes. Pardon? Yes. Just here around the food park. Oh! You remember? You said it's for sale, didn't you? Pardon? Yeah, okay, go ahead, yes. Yes, and I saw your husband, Mr. Hansen. Okay, good. And I saw some other influential people from the Latino community like yourself, Senator Hansen. Okay. And I must say, I enjoyed it. I think it was my second Puerto Rico Friendship Weekend. And I was happy to see you. Because, Senator, you are a spokesperson for masses. Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen, when she speaks, the masses listen. Do you agree with that, Senator Hansen? Well, I've been blessed by that. Yes, Senator. I've been blessed by that. Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen is one who is not afraid to challenge the establishment, particularly when it is egregious or against the good will of the people. Is that correct, Senator Hansen? Oh, you want to talk about myself this morning? Yes, you can, and if you don't mind, I would like to respond. Ladies first. I feel blessed. God has given me courage, vision, have stimulated me into standing on behalf of the masses, or even one. I recall some cases where I went stood up on behalf of millionaires who just, were tapped from opportunities in the Virgin Islands, and when I saw their plan, it was good for both sides, and I had to stand for them because someone was stand in the way utilizing government, especially the Department of UK, not to have black certain problems in the Virgin Islands. And so in that case, I had to also, but those are the cases that you didn't hear about. Well, sir, sometimes in the world community, there is an ancient Ashanti proverb. You know the Ashanti people from West Africa, correct? Sure. They have a saying that goes, speak softly and carry a big stick. You ever heard of that one? Yeah, the elders said that all the time. It was popularized by Theodore Roosevelt, who was a Republican president of the United States. You familiar with it now, Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen? I was familiar before, yes. Yes, ma'am. That is an that was made popular by Republican President Theodore Roosevelt.
Well, I know that our ancestors during the Caribbean always do that for us.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, Senator, we need people like you at the front line. You know why? Because your truly Wayne Faxman Adams can see that certain people don't have the tenacity, vision, courage, and strength to challenge the system in certain cases like Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen. So there is a need at many occasions for people like Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen to stand up as a champion for the people. Sometimes she has to stand up as a champion for the middle class. Sometimes she has to stand up as a champion for the upper class. Sometimes she has to stand up as a champion for all people. And Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen is cosmopolitan, meaning that she's all around in her standing for right and correctness in the Virgin Islands of the United States city. Am I correct, Senator Hansen?
I'm listening.
This is why we need people like Alicia Chucky Hansen to continue the crusade against injustice. We need people like Alicia Chucky Hansen to continue the crusade for righteousness. We need people like Alicia Chucky Hansen to stand for those who are not even born. We need people like Alicia Chucky Hansen to stand up for the senior citizens in the community. Isn't that correct, Senator Hansen?
To say
Sorry.
I will agree.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And please, don't fade off of the scene anytime soon, because we need people like you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. I don't know if I can shut up and let you speak, because the program is Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen's program and not Wayne Faxman Adams' program. So I'm all ears if you only oblige some additional airtime for me to utilize. Senator Hansen.
Would you like an additional 2 minutes?
Pardon?
An additional 2 minutes?
Yeah, yes, thank you for being gracious.
Okay.
I will take the additional 2 minutes and I will yield to you.
Okay, so you can hang up and listen, okay?
Okay, Senator Hansen, I thank you for the time.
Yes.
And we, Faxman Adams, would like to richly ask the humble Heavenly Father and the Heavenly Host to bless in Christ, to bless the Virgin Islands of the United States, and to particularly give strength and fortitude to Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen to continue her crusade for justice, truth, righteousness, spiritual holiness, and to help people of all walks of life, particularly in the Virgin Islands of the United States.
Thank you so much, Faxman Adams, especially for your years of service in keeping our history alive.
You're most welcome, Senator Hansen, and to your constituency.
God bless you.
God bless you, Senator Hansen. Bye-bye.
Cannibal, if you were only human, you would be a jealous person. I really never meant to hurt you, but you are so easy that made me go. That made me go, she know we put you on.
Hey, hi. So how do I record the FM side? Not yet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can try that. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going in.
Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on election day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On election day, Elizabeth Hansen Watley. You know me. Yo, it's the guy so Cativa. It's the real. Na 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 watch out the out in the street, oh, just running in the night. Well, if I all I'm gonna see, it's gonna be about be right. Cause no one can do it like I do it, like a boy, like a bad do it. I'm just like an animal. I've done it to get to bad, but you know I'm ready for action. Just find this bring on my face. I choose something that attention. It's fine, make it up the face. Watch the people live off their truth. From Toronto and Vieto. As the sun here, I think it's true. I don't know what to do. Salute your passion, I saw that thing, and it's that home. I know that salute your passion, I saw that. I don't know when you know that it's over. It's the way for a long, long time. No, it's my time to be mine. flashing lights. Raising me playing my flag, showing up my pearly white. It's no one can do it like I do it. Keep like I'm tough, got the hair of the twin. I just let you understand. I'm not in the little one, but you know I take it for action. Just practice when I'm on stage. I choose something that convention. It's time to pick up the pace. Watch the people look up petrol. From my life, I do that too. I stand here and think it's true. I saw it, I know I don't. So you, your passion, I saw. Bringing your hips and over, no one to do. Your passion, I saw. I got your friend, you know it's over. It's no way for a long, long time. Don't just try like this, I need mine. Stand up and rock it in the line. Yes, you know they're all not just mine. Na 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 na.
Talk for the Virgin Islands, AM 970 WSTX.
Greetings. I'm Elizabeth Hansen. If senators not only control the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on election day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On election day, Elizabeth Hansen Watley. You don't make me. Yo, it's the Gangsta Cathedral. It's the real. Na 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 watch the day out in the street, just running in the night. Well, if I go on to the sea, because it's gonna be, I won't be right. So what I do it like I do it, like a court, like a pop store. I just like it on a fun. I'm trying to get some right, but you know I take it for action. Just like this great on my face. I choose something that attention. Just like to keep up the face. Watch the people live on picture. From Toronto and the I2. As the start here, one thing is true. My soul doesn't know what to do. So you're passionate, so I'm bringing your hips and over. I know what to do. You're passionate, so I'm like the difference, you know that's the soul. It's the way for a long, long time. You know this part and this might be mine. I know I'm focused in the time. Yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 na.
jealous person. It's loneliness that made me go. Should have been free. How much of that we show. We wanna fight up, fight up, fight if you were only human, you would be a jealous person. doing nothing. We benefit by citizens and challenges. I wanna see you moving. But if you have faith and jealousy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast and be false to the truth. This is not wisdom that comes down from above, but is earthly and spiritual and demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder. Jealousy gonna be there.
Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on Election Day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On Election Day, push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley.
You know me. Yo, it's the Viejo Cadeva. It's the rip. Na 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 watch your day out in the street, oh, just running in the night. Well, if it's all into the sequel, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Cause the one can do it like I do it, like a cork, like a pop, pass through it. And just like in carnival, I'm planning to get some bad, but you know I'm ready for action. Just find this spring of my face, the juice and in attention, it's going to pick up the pace. Watch the people live on metro, from Toronto and Seattle. As the fact here, what thing is true. My soul doesn't know what to do. Salute your commissioner, so bringing your lips and over and over. Salute your commissioner, so I'm like the truth, you know that you're sober. It's the way for a long time. Don't just want to spend big money. Stand up and talk it in the night. Yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 na. Na 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 when you see my name up there, hanging up the flashing lights, when you see me flying my flag, showing up my pearly whites, yes, no one can do it like I do it, like I talk, got the hair and the truth, and just like you understand, I'm planning to get some bad, but you know I'm ready for action, just wipe this grin on my face, that you standing at attention, it's time to pick up the pace, watch the people live on metro, from my life I know that too, and the fact here what it is true. My soul doesn't know what to do. Salute your commissioner, so that bringing your head step over and over. Salute your commissioner, so that I'm like the when you know that you're sober. It's the way for a long time. Don't just want to take this way. Keep my stand up and talk it every time. Yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 na
Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley.
A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on Election Day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On Election Day, push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley.
Animal, if you were only human, you would be a jealous person. Slowly as the baby grows, I should have waited for you on the ground. Oh, my son, every show, you gotta fight, you gotta bubble up, just a little bit, you is my girl, you is the reason why everybody calls you. There is nobody else who is better. The time from you get given you are so loud. Let's talk about any time you want to hold you. And just so you can put your hand in everything. You use up my pain when I try to breathe in my life. They only want to have they're ready for reality tonight. Always going through. They're not coming in on the best kind of all I know. We always fight. We gotta come on up. Just a little bit like you know. You is my girl, but I promise never do this again. You is the reason why everybody wants to be better. There is nobody else who is better. The time for me to give in you are a so let's all take time if it comes out of you. And this way it comes out to get you everything. Please, I'm not paying when I'm doing free in my life. The only way I can ever do it is if I show up, put you up. Take away my put you up. Take my drink up, put you up. Let's go, yeah. Animal, if you were only human, you would be a jealous person.
AM 970 WSTX.
Q's Photo in the Sunny Isle Shopping Center has been a household name on St. Croix for over 25 years and is still standing firm in meeting the needs of the community. Passport and immigration photos, restoration, business cards, plus Q's Photo can handle all your prints from your digital cameras, phones, CDs, USB drives, and portraits. Q's Photo, locally owned, takes pride in our work, and if you want it done right, see the experts at Q's Photo in Sunny Isle Shopping Center. Call us at 340-778-6827 or visit us at www.qsphotoonline.com.
Now that we are in the hurricane season, residents and visitors alike need to be prepared to tackle any weather. Bates Trucking and Trash Removal reminds you to put together a basic emergency. Write and review an emergency plan with your family. Check emergency equipment such as flashlights, generators, sandbags, and storm shutters. Remember to pay attention to the various weather broadcasts and local news sources to keep up to date with the latest weather systems in the region. This message is brought to you by Bates Trucking and Trash Removal. Call us at 778-1649.
News Talk for the Virgin Islands, AM 970 WSTX.
Nothing in the world can.
Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on Election Day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On Election Day, push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. You know me. Yo, it's the Fiesta Cadeva. It's the real. Yeah. Na 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 Watch all day out in the street, mouth just running in the night. Well, if it's all under the seat, cause it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Cause no one can do it like I do it. Like a cork, I go pop past do it. And just like an animal, I'm planning to get on bad, but you know I'm ready for action. Just find this green up my face. The juice that need like attention. It's time to pick up the pace. Watch the people live on Metro, from Toronto and Seattle. As I hear one thing is true. My soul doesn't know what to do. Salute your commissioner, soca, bringing your hits like over and over. Salute your commissioner, soca, and like the things you know that you're sober. It's the way they grow a long, long time. Don't just fight and just make it mine. Stand up and talk if it's the time. Yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 na. Na 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 when you see my name up there, hanging up in flashing lights, when you see me playing my flag, showing up my pearly whites, yes, no one can do it like I do it, like I talk, got the hair of the truth, and just like you understand, I'm planning to get some bad, but you know I'm ready for action, just wipe the screen on my face, the juice don't need that attention, it's time to pick up the pace, watch the people live on Metro, from my dancer, I know that too, I can hear one thing is true. My soul doesn't know what to do. Salute your commissioner, soca, bringing your hits and over and over. Salute the commissioner, soca, and like you when you know that you're sober. It's the way they follow your time. Don't just want to take this way, keep mine. Stand up and talk every time. Yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A
Its senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on election day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On election day, push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley.
Carnival, if you were only human, you would be a jealous person. I never meant to hurt you. It's loneliness that made me go. I should have waited for you, honey. I'm not sure that we show. You gotta fight up. You gotta bubble up and come. But I take some shots. Just to get it out. Like you will no way. You is my girl, but I promise never do this again. You is the reason why. Everybody calls you better. There is nobody else who do it better. Better from the baby when you are a sister. That's all I need to make me want to hold you for everything. And you say the words and give you everything. You use up my bed when I try to break in my life. You only way and I go to fail if I don't want to jump. Take away my job. Take my drink off your job. I drop it up. Stop again. They made it from the attention. Always go with the flow. You're not going to be the best kind of all I know. We always fight up. Just a little like you don't be no way. You is my girl, but I promise never do this again. You is the reason why. Everybody calls you better. There is nobody else who do it better. Better from the beginning, you are a sister. You all that. That's all I need to make it matter for you. Everything. And this way, come on to give you everything. You ease up my pain when I'm trying to break. You only way I never fail. So much over for job. Take away my job. Take my drink off your job. I drop it up. I'm stuck again. Carnival, if you were only human, you would be a jealous person.
Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on election day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On election day, push! Elizabeth Hansen, Watley. You know me. Yo, it's the VA Soca Diva. It's the real. Yo. Na 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 watch all day out in the street, mouth just running in the night. Well, if I fall onto the scene, cause it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Cause the one can do it like I do it, like a cork, I come up and do it. And just like in carnival, I'm planning to get on bad, but you know I'm ready for action. Just watch the spring of my face, and choose something that attention. It's fine to pick up his head. Watch the people live up metro, from Toronto and Seattle. And sometimes hear what is true. My soul doesn't know what to do. Salute your commissioner, soldier, bringing your head step over and over. Salute your commissioner, soldier, and raise your kids when you know that you're sober. It's the way it is for a long, long time. Don't just want to spend deep mind in that life. I'm so interested in yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 na. When you see my name up there, hanging up the fashion line. When you see me playing my flag, showing up my pearly white. Yes, no one can do it like I do it. Like I told the hair of the joint. I'm just like you and that.
AM 970 WSTX.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect that of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
Always an honor to introduce someone who has been given the consent of the governed, specifically the people of St. Croix, on 11 occasions. Former Senator, we'll take out the former, Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen, number 11, from the District of St. Croix. Good morning, Senator Hansen. How are you?
Greetings, Senator, to you too.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Good to hear your voice.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. And how are you? Like you sound like you're good.
I am standing. I thank God every day for the opportunity to serve our people.
That's good. And I was talking to the engineer on Monday, and when it dawned on me that, wait a minute, Senator Hansen coming, yes, it's VA Puerto Rico Friendship Week. She knew to pick Friday to come on Friday night, because this is the weekend. So I was telling the engineer, this is weird, Senator White talk about experience matters. She knows what she's doing, because she's talking to her constituents on VA Puerto Rico Friendship Week. So you know what you're doing. Congratulations on snatching this day. In all of the days that we know about, right? Senator, good morning to you once again, right? For those, this is the first appearance on the program. For those who are listening via the internet, because everybody in the territory knows Alicia Chucky Hansen, reintroduce yourself, and introduce yourself to the people of the territory. The floor is yours.
Well, Senator, I am, and to the people of the Virgin Islands, you are quite aware that you know me, okay? I am Alicia Chucky Hansen. I am the person who will stand beside you, come hell or high water. I am a very courageous person, needless to say. I love a challenge. When I'm told that it cannot be done, I get a kick in getting it done. And so with that in mind, I would like to stop right there, because I'm not new to this. The people are not new to me. They know that I am a workaholic. I take stand on position on any issue. It don't matter, come hell or high water, I will do what I have to do in defense of the public. It doesn't matter to me whether you're white, black, or yellow. It don't matter to me if you're Pentecostal, Catholic,
to me. All that matters to me is that you are a person that needs representation. And once you need representation, here is Alicia Chucky Hansen. And I am not just saying that, I have a record to show that. Come to the issues of the day, the issues of the past, the issues of the future, when it comes to revenue generating ideas. I'm leading on that. I've always led on that with my type of legislation. And of course, needless to say that people can depend on me. All right, so I am depending on you, the people, to, as you have asked me to do, and I did it after a long talk about it and debate about what I should return or not, trying to get other people to run, and legislations that are in place that actually are obstacles for many qualified people out there to run for office. And that has to be changed, and therefore, here I am. That's the bottom line. And once I'm on the ballot, I am not going to act like I am running number one. Although people say I am. I am running, asking you for your vote and your support, and I humbly do so. I want to stop because I want a question.
No,
Thank you, Senator.
Not a problem, man. What we do here. First of all, I want to know we bring on the candidates at 9:10. We take a break at 9:20. We do the introduction segment for the most part, and then we have a long segment from 9:20 to 9:40. We take another break, and then the last segment from 9:40 to 9:50. You get a chance to talk to the public once again and let them know what you're looking at. So the questions that we ask.
I want to follow you.
Yeah, thank you. The questions that we ask, depending on what you are, as it relates to the legislature, are as follows. If you're an aspirant, we ask, what are you going to bring to the table? If you are an incumbent, we ask, what are you doing now? And for former senators like yourself, we have a different question. The question to you, Senator Hansen, is what isn't in the legislature now that you brought to the body in the past that you are willing to bring back to make the institution better?
Oh, of course, no problem. Is that your question now, or this is what you're saying?
No, that's the question to you. What are you going to bring back to the institution that currently is not in the institution?
Absolutely. Well, I would say courage. I would say experience, leadership you can count on. I am bilingual. I'm ready to serve. What I can bring is a follow-up on how I've dealt with people and their needs over the years. For example, a state adventure. As you will recall, Senator, that those homes were meant for emergency housing. So people were paying rent for a while. I decided through legislation to have those rents be converted into a credit towards a mortgage. Therefore, some people paid as little of $3,800 and no more for others than $40,000. Okay? Because all of the rents were applied at the time of the passage of the legislation. So, and then we go back and we look at the state cost of birth, where I had all of those homes not to be paid for no more than $60,000 at the time that the government said $125,000. Because I wanted upward mobility for many people that were living in public housing or other housing that were not their own, and be able to clear the way for them to have the opportunity to have their dreams come true. So it is that trend that I've carried over the years, and I could talk about a couple more, but I don't want to stick just on the one subject matter. I'd like to see a veteran program. For example, I have legislation that is in the books right now that provides for 15% of any development, as long as the government has a penny in it. You have to give them the opportunity to set aside 50%. And you're a number man, right?
I think so.
So and they said I work with you, I think so too.
Thank you.
Right? Not leaving myself behind. So I do know, right? And you will agree to that, right?
You go to finance chair how many times? 10 twice? Yeah. You know the government.
4 years. And thank you for reminding the people. And I delivered the budget without increased taxation. It was a balanced budget. The governor was happy to sign it at the time Governor Turnbull was happy to sign it as is, no objections, because it was a well-done budget. And so I thank all my colleagues over the years that have supported me and know how to work and negotiate with people. You have been the only one who decided, no, I've been trying to the legislature. but I'm so happy that our relationship, Senator, even after you left, that you have continued to show me respect. You did what you had to do as a majority leader. Well, and I understand now that that's why I have no animosity at all.
And I'm glad you went there because I wanted to use it as I say when we go to the first break. I am a history major, and a lot of people know me that they didn't know I like my numbers, but I'm a history major, and actually geography is my first love. But I can't, even if Senator Hansen was on the other side of the aisle, I spoke about this relative to Senator White yesterday, right? 11 terms, 22 years. I can't be a history major and not recognize that you're the longest serving St. Croix senator ever. That's a fact. That's history. So even if we get our issues, as someone who has a great appreciation for history and for records, that speaks for itself. When we come back, Senator Hansen, we're going to talk about the real issues facing the people of the Virgin Islands: GERS, education, COVID, healthcare by extension, and infrastructure. Okay, so we'll be right back with Alicia Chucky Hansen, number 11 on the ballot here on the St. Croix side of the Virgin Islands election. We'll be back right after this. And we are back here on the Candidate Speak, and Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen, number 11 on the ballot, has been recognized. Good morning once again, Senator Hansen.
Greetings, Senator.
Okay, good. Now let's talk about the real elephant in the room, the government employees retirement system. They're struggling. There has been suggestions of a reduction in annuities. The number is somewhere between 40, 42%, wherever we are with respect to that. What is your primary objective as a senator, as a senator relating to addressing the pending insolvency of the government employees retirement system?
Well, let me tell you what I would have done if I was there with them with this sort of announcement. First, I would have recommended that we shut down the legislature as it relates to stopping the clock. You recall when we used to stop the clock, right? And you know what stopping the clock means. Mm-hmm. We all go in the room, and if the clock says 12:15, you stop the clock at 12:15. And you do not come out of that room except to go to the bathroom, except to clean up yourself and be freshened up, which shouldn't even matter because you're concentrating and resolving this problem. And you don't come out of that darn room until you come out with a viable solution. Okay? That's what I would have recommended. We also know that when you decrease government employees in our government service, automatically that is a reduction to the contribution into the GERS. That's why I have never voted in all those years to reduce government employees off the government payroll. There was a time where we had approximately 15 to 16,000 government employees. That has been reduced to under 6,000. And therefore, automatically, you put a dent into the retirement system. The other option will be to include the 411 program, include the private sector voluntarily if they want to participate. This is a recommendation I've done and I've proposed on many occasions because as a government, you're not here to represent just people in the employees in the public sector. Those that are working in the private sector also need representation. I got them as far as the 411 program through talking to the leaders of the Main Street on St. Thomas. They didn't even realize that their employees didn't have coverage I recall sitting with my one seat and the Catinelli, at that time his mother, Afna Catinelli, and I said, listen, we can't have all these employees that when they retire after 30, some of them 35 years, all they get is a watch and some trip on a cruise ship. And then they said, oh my God, you're so right, Senator Hansen. And from there came about the 411 program in the private sector. But I don't think it's enough. And I think that joining the private sector on a voluntary basis, they can in fact help contributions into the retirement system.
So you're talking about the 401, not the 411, the 401. 401.
Yeah,
you said
the 401
401.
Yeah, there's a private retirement program.
Correct.
With those in the private sector. Okay? So the key to me is put all the brains together and stop the clock and come out with a viable solution. I don't believe that we have to, and then you have the one cover over, a portion of it should actually go directly to the GERS.
So that's where we are with the government employees retirement system. Let's talk about COVID-19. You weren't a member, we weren't a member of the body, we're a member of the previous legislature. COVID hits us in March. How do you think we've managed this pandemic locally over the last 6.5 months, almost 7 months come next week?
Well, you may not quite like my answer, but you know, Chucky Hansen, I'm going to tell you as it is. I think just like our President Trump went in denial and called it a hoax, I think that right here in the Virgin Islands, we went and followed the same trend. All right? We have our school system right now in care, which have been preventable. I believe that, just let me back up. I had the Commission of Education on my program. As you all know, I have a radio show every Saturday morning. And one of the questions I ask her is, why are you going to order, and this is months ago, why are you going to just order computers just for students that fall under or below the average level? What happens to those that you don't want to drop? They're on top of you want to drop, or you're in the middle line, you don't want them to drop. Well, we're only going to deal with those students right now, and that's it. Common sense. Senator James Neville. Common sense works with your academics. If you have academics without common sense, we're going to fail. And I gave them the common sense approach. You have to order for all the students in preparation just in case you cannot go to the classroom. That was not done. They insisted they could only order a few just in case. And then months later, when they realize pandemic don't leave, but when you're educated with all these degrees, you should know that pandemic don't just walk in one day and leave and disappear in a month. Because we study pandemic. It's a requirement. And when you study pandemic, you know it don't disappear overnight. And therefore, Plan B should have been in place. You know what that has cost? Up to today, you have in the summer over 700 students without an iPad or laptop. Okay? Up to this day, today. What's today? October 9th. Okay? And we have at St. Croix a tremendous amount of students. I only know the numbers for St. Thomas because some teachers already called me. But I do know at St. Croix there's the same problem because many have complained and said even some teachers don't have it. Now, I recall the superintendent for St. Croix, and that's why I love him so much, McGregor. He indicated, and I'm saying he said, you know what, we will have it for all the students that need, and the commissioner corrected him and said, no, it will be not all the students. Right? We still have that on video and so forth. I don't want to go back to all these errors that they have made, but I have to tell you what the bottom line is. A lot of students are falling astray because of the poor planning, unnecessary lack of vision, and so we get to the results we get today.
Let me transition now to our infrastructure. We were members of the 32nd legislature when Irma and Maria hit in September of 2017. Then Governor Mapp went to Washington, D.C., and we got a solid appropriation for $8 billion. In your estimation, where are we as it relates to recovery and in hardening our infrastructure and putting monies in certain areas that will allow for us to get back to be better than where we were when the hurricanes hit some 37 months ago?
Well, I'm sure you have the answer to that question. But what I can tell you is that we talk about all these millions of dollars that come in, and people ain't seeing it, and they ain't feeling it. That's the bottom line. We're not seeing it, and we're not feeling it. And I think that urbanization, again, is an issue here in all of these fundings that come in. And so I will stop right there with that one. Because I'm telling you, you know me, right?
Oh, you answered the question, so we ain't seeing it and we ain't feeling it. So I respect that.
All right.
You have served for 22 years over the last 34 years. And there's a question that I've asked every candidate. What is your take? And I'm sure you've been there when it's come before the legislature before as presented in proposal form. What is your take on the need for a comprehensive land and water use plan for the territory of the Virgin Islands?
Well, I've always said I don't have a problem supporting that type of plan. It is long overdue, but I do not want to see the power of the legislature relinquished to DPNR. I still believe that we should have a plan, but the legislature should have the last say, because I know that many times, and you're also aware of that, government can be of preference. I have that example right now with me right now in this campaign, okay? Preference and politics. So if you are not the preferred person, they may be all right with the plan, but decide because of politics, they're going to decide they are not going to approve it. It don't have to necessarily be that it's not good for the area or the community.
Let's
Because you know that the legislature will be aired to the public.
That's right. Let's transition to one of the big problems that we're dealing with now in the territory, St. Hansen. Crime. We're seeing violent crime taking place here. We've had murders in Oswald Harris Court on the highway here. St. Thomas had a situation where carjackings were taking place and they were stealing cars for the purposes of committing crimes and drive-by shootings. The situation there over there in work arrest by H&H. How do we go about getting this problem reined in when it's pretty much understood that it can't be done legislatively? How do we come together as a community to address our crime problem?
Well, first of all, we need to let our young people know that we love them. We love them. They need to hear it more frequently. Mm-hmm. Secondly, we must give them positive things to do. For too many programs, and I know you've been around, that you are aware of, that the schools that they don't have. All right? You have a long list of programs where you went to school that our young people, especially the extracurricular activities, it's not there. So when I observe that some programs falling astray or we will lose it, I got to back up for it. Like the JROTC program. If it was not for my legislation, these children that are positive with their characters building and so forth would not be there today. pools, country dance pools, swimming program. The one down in St. Thomas, at their request, they funded and they got it and they rebuilt their pools because you need them in these positive programs. There's soccer field on St. Croix. I haven't even talked about these things. There's soccer field on St. Croix. I delivered it and my colleagues supported me in order that we have a lot of people love soccer. The young people love soccer. So therefore we have now a soccer field. And this right here is St. Croix. I got it for them for $9,000. Okay? Because I think it is important. There have so many of our projects, the public housing centers closed. We need to provide them with music, art, and sports. Keep the mind busy in a positive manner.
Let's talk, since you went there, let's talk about the infrastructure as it relates to our young people, right? You know, you touched on, because you're good at this. You segue. When I asked you about COVID, you actually segued to education. So you got COVID and education knocked out in one answer. So that's the experience that I was talking about. Now you're talking about when I asked a question about crime, you spoke about us needing to deal with the positive things, like the soccer field that you mentioned, what have you. But what about our resources and our arguments against the federal government for not protecting our shorelines and allowing for these weapons to come into the territory through our ports?
Senator, it breaks my heart. And I'm sure it breaks your heart too because you are Virgin Islander.
That's right.
Okay? Do you think that the federal government, let's talk honestly and openly, do you really believe that the federal government is not aware of how these drugs and guns are coming into the territory?
They have to be aware.
Okay then, I'm done.
I like that. So are you in support of the administration calling out the federal government and the current administration in Washington for not protecting our ports and shorelines and allowing these weapons to come into our territory? I mean, it predated the Trump administration, but at some point we need to stand up and make a statement.
I think we need to make a statement on what they are already aware of. If they wanted to, we won't have that issue associated with. They have all the resources in the world, okay? And they know that in the Virgin Islands, we do not manufacture guns and these high-power weapons. They're aware of that, all right? There are too many young people, and now some of them are aged in our Jampel correctional facility that because they have some, what they call them, dive bag. I don't know, it's trying to figure out that they want a dive bag one, right? Dive bag and so forth. Yeah. When in fact, you have big cocaine in the area. And now they legalize the medicinal marijuana. I know that he is listening and he's going to say, don't you pronounce it in a Spanish way. But
no, you actually pronounced it perfectly because it is a Latin word. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so tell Daddy. Tell Daddy that you are right there.
Okay. So, when these guys legalize that, what about all these guys that are in jail for years, young fellows?
For simple possession. Yeah, for simple possession. You're right. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our final break. Now, when we come back, we're gonna talk about what you are looking to do to hit the ground running in January 2021. Once the stars align and you are a member of the 34th legislature representing the District of St. Croix. Okay, Senator?
Very well, thank you.
You got it. This is analyze this. The candidates speak. We have recognized former Senator Alicia Chucky Hansen. She's number 11 on the St. Croix ballot, seeking a membership to the 34th legislature. And we'll be back right after this. And we are back here on Analyze This, the candidates speak, and we have the longest serving senator for the District of St. Croix, 11 terms in the books. Alicia Chucky Hansen first went in January of 1987. Stayed there for 16 years until January of 2003. Came back in January of 2011. Stayed there until January of 2015, and then served again from January 2017 to January 2019. Senator Hansen, with all of this 22 years, what has it been like talking?
You forget a part of that.
Well,
You need to add that I have never, in those instances, been kicked out of the Senate. And that's not to tell anyone who has been, but I think it needed to be said that each time I have left high.
16. Oh, that's right. That's right. What she's saying is, when she left in January 2003, it wasn't because she lost her Senate seat. That's what you're saying, right? You ran for a different office and a couple instances. Okay, that's good. But I just want to ask you, you have been touching the flesh here on St. Croix, specifically where you get out your votes, but territory-wide for 22 years. What's it like? Tell the public what's it like meeting people from all walks of life for the better part of the last 34 years, Senator?
I love it. I love people. People love me. I'm sure you have heard on many occasions where the people of St. Thomas and St. John always said they wish they could have voted for me for the Senate, and that's why I've always supported at large. Not just because they wanted to vote for me, but because, as you know, we make decisions, no matter what district you get elected from, you make decisions for all 3 and now 4 islands people. And so all of them, because we affect their lives, should be able to vote for all representatives in the Senate.
So you are an advocate for at-large voting for all of the members of the legislature, all 15?
Absolutely. All 15. We have tried it before. I always fall short. One time we got it passed and the governor did it.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk healthcare real quickly as it relates to the facilities, because I know that's an issue you've touched on over the years. What is your take with respect to Wang Louis Hospital in St. Croix, the Roy Schneider Medical Center, the regional center, regional medical center on St. Thomas, and the Myra Heating facility on St. John?
Well, through all my years, the first thing I got to say is, as you know, I am the sponsor of the naming of the Wang Louis Hospital, and therefore I take pride in that. Let me mention that day, since we have the Puerto Rico Friendship Weekend as part of our history, and also because it's our only hospital, and we want to make sure the name is on a hospital because of the people's right to have good health care, that everything runs right there. So I put a lot of effort in every area department of our hospital to support them, from the dialysis to the emergency room to the to every area you could think of, and even to the morgue, as you recall some history on that. I believe that our hospital have highly qualified people. I take this opportunity during this COVID period to commend all the staff, the nurses, the doctors working there, because in the states that you're aware, I'm sure you are aware, many are resigning by the thousands, all right, because they're so afraid of catching this COVID and taking it to their families. And so our people here have remained faithful to our community, and we cannot underestimate and understand what they have done for all of us. And so there is no doubt in anyone's mind that I will always stand for support. I will never remove money from our hospital. What we could do is change from one area to the next, but never remove money from our hospital funding. Okay? And wherever we need support for it, I will do.
Senator Hansen, one of the things that we take pride on here at WTJX is that we actually have listenership that expands to Vieques and Culebra. And of course, having lived on St. Croix, born in the Boston, I live on St. Croix, 35 to 40% of our population once upon a time were of Puerto Rican descent. I'm going to give you this opportunity for 1 minute in your Hispanic twang to speak to your Spanish listeners who may be listening in Vieques, Culebra, and definitely here on the island of St. Croix. You got 1 minute, the clock ticking. Go right ahead.
Okay, very quickly. Well, first of all, I want to say to the people of the Virgin Islands, muchas gracias por la oportunidad que me han dado todos estos años para servirles a ustedes. Ustedes saben que yo siempre he estado respaldándolos, no me importa lo que sea que esté pasando en su vida. Siempre Chucky Hansen ha estado ahí. Ustedes me han pedido que venga a coger de nuevo y humildemente te pido mi voto en el número 11 y te digo empuje el 11 porque siempre esta senadora ha estado a favor del pueblo, no importa la marea alta.
What an only Chucky has said. I like that. No, so not a week.
We have time, right? Let me tell you this quickly.
Yeah.
We have, because of the heritage and the history that you're talking about, we do have this weekend on the 10th, that's tomorrow. We have an event from 4 to 9. I had a live band after I spoke with the governor. He had approved it of the live band, and so I had cool sessions. Yesterday, I received a call of the governor. He said he has been pressured. The advertisement sounds too exciting, and that's going to draw a lot of people. Therefore, we had to drop off cool session. But we now have Carl, the DJ, and Coast, and of course, DJ Ricky Sound. So we have all the lechon by Kike El Padrino de los Lechones that will be rolling right there on the bay in Dallas Bay, okay? And we're going to have a lot of food for sale, and that's seafood calalupo who don't like pork, eh? But it's not cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. Last the one and only, the one and only Panchi last and Dallas Bay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Everybody's family is, in Alberta, including Dari. All right? But I went to the whole thing Dallas Bay.
That's right. That's right. So much Crespo, yeah, man, for sure. I remember now, Eleanor, like I wanted to be, so you know that, you know how we go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you, Eleanor. Yeah, God bless you. Yes. Look, let me ask you a question. Let's go a little, let's make it a little personal here. How Betty Don Cook and your people in from Hamburg, how are you doing? Because a lot of people may not know that Senator Hansen lived in the work arrest Hamburg area for a lot of years. And Betty Don Cook and that family, they're a big supporter of yours. How are you doing?
Let me tell you, that they couldn't get added to the show for us, you know. I didn't say that. I didn't say we were done it on the show. We love them. They have been faithful for us.
Yes, they
we
have.
have our home there. We saw the children from very, very young to up to big, honorable men and women today. And so Aleph, up to yesterday, I know we spoke, Aleph is his wife, and the Dunkerque, and Benito, you cannot take away. In fact, the whole of Hamburg, okay? From Chucky Hansen.
The
whole of Hamburg. The whole of North St. Croix. We're running with 98%.
I like that. Senator Hansen, you have 1 minute now to make your official. I want you to transition now into legislative mentality and speak to the people and ask them for their support for your candidacy in the early voting that's going on now and on election day, November the 3rd, 2020. The floor is yours. You have 1 minute.
Thank you very much, Senator, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity. A lot of people, when we told them that I'm going to come on your show this morning, they went like, wait, never?
Yeah.
I'm sure you were surprised too when I accepted.
No. I wasn't surprised. I was stunned how all you lucky today. A lot of them were skeptical about coming out, but they don't know that I've now transitioned into teddy bear mode, and I'm a lovely guy now, so we're good. So the floor is yours. The floor is yours for 1 minute to talk to your constituents.
Yes, people of the Virgin Islands, you know me. You know me. You know when you get into Chucky Hansen. I will never change. I'm tested. I have experience. I can deal with anyone, no matter the status in your life. I'm ready to serve. I'm always in touch with the people. When I'm in the Senate, while I'm out of the Senate, I continue to be in touch with you. And I bring you results. Proven leadership. Correct courageous leadership. You can't be friends to everyone. You have to be able to match and count even of some of your friends in order to support the masses of the people and what's right for the people of the Virgin Islands. So I am not going to go any further on that. You know I do deliver, and I deliver well. That's why you're asking me, you're missing my voice. That's the voice that I hear from people every day. I miss your voice. Well, your voice will be back once you push number 11. Come tomorrow, we are not going to be hugging up. I have got the hurtful part about my campaign. I love to have people all year round with the pandemic. We have to be careful. No hugging, no handshaking, no kissing. What we're going to do is bring your glue stick if you don't have a partner and dance by yourself, and also bring your mask. And we're going to have lots of sanitizer on this site. We're going to have a good time, okay? Because we need to loosen up a little bit. And I am so sorry that they did not allow full session because the Democrats had their kickoff and they had live band. But our number one band, in my opinion, Stanley at the Dance Speakers Night, is my number one band. All right? But they had it already over 2 weeks ago. And so forth, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander. But I will comply and we're going to have fun anyway. All right?
Thank you.
So, gente de habla hispana, yo te bendiga, te veo mañana.
Thank you very much, Senator Alisa Chucky Hansen, former senator, because we don't want to confuse the public. She's not a senator right now, right, but she'll always be a senator for the people of St. Croix. Come and serve 11 terms. Thank you very much for joining us today. And analyze this. The candidates speak. Continued success throughout the campaign. Thank you, Senator.
Hey, Alicia, Chucky Hansen.
The one and only.
You want?
The one and only. Thank you very much, Senator Hansen.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed this too. Thanks a lot, Senator Hansen. I appreciate it. That was Alisa Chucky Hansen, Senator Emeritus from St. Croix, having served, like I said, 11 terms. I saw him 6. And she still got another 10 years or so on top of that. I'm looking at 2 more. So we'll see what happens. Of course, you know, there's 2 sayings that I'd asked Ms. Simek to knock out for me. One of them I used when I was a senator. And I want to put him on the record now. For those of you who don't know John Adams, he was our second president. And he had a saying prior to him being president, where he said, liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people who have a right and a desire to know. That's John Adams, 1765. And then the one that I used to use on my campaign brochures and in my office, right? Because I thought this was important for the people. And it's by Thomas Jefferson. He was the 3rd president. And he said, whenever the people are well informed, they can be trusted with their own government. And one of the things we try to do here at Analyze This is get information out to the public so you can make the determination. Don't call in, you know, saying, well, I hear this and I hear that, because you know that I'm not receptive to that. We, as a station, and the listeners, because the listeners are really who make the show what it is, in addition to the guests and the content, you know. And it's about a trend. And I just want to thank the people, because we've been on now for, you know, just over 5 months. And the support has been across the board. You don't really hear a lot of calls. If they text me, and it's because they like, the listeners are so astute, they like the conversation to flow. They want the engineer to be harassed, you know, when I could ask a question on their behalf and then the flow. And this is about flow, in addition to quality content, you know. So we're glad that we have the ability to talk to all the candidates, because like these 2 former great presidents said, you know, they're perfect, and some of them own slaves and all that. Nobody's perfect. And, you know, we got a problem with that as it relates to our history. But we got to deal in the now as well. And it's important that we understand our freedoms and it's important that we process information. That's why when a Kyle Fleming come on my show, I could never thank Lynn and Sierra and Zoe Zimmet enough for making this connection. Because the Kyle Flemings of the world, they are the reasons why we do things, why we did things, in the past, and because we want life to be easy for them. We don't want it to be easy to the point where they don't appreciate hard work and all of the work ethic required to make things happen. But we don't want them to be struggling like we did 20, 30, 40 years ago, 100 years ago. We don't want that. So that's why Analyze This has taken on the posture that it's taken on, and we're looking forward to continuing this candidates week. We got 2 more full weeks. Closing up shop on the 23rd. We've knocked off a lot of the senatorial candidates to this point. Next week, we get the list here. Next week, as it relates to candidates, former Senator Norman John Baptiste on Tuesday, Senator Janelle Saro on Wednesday. We got Daily Double next week, Friday, Jonathan P. Tucker at the 8 o'clock hour, and Kurt Violet. In the second hour, we got another Daily Double next week, Friday, with former Senator Stephen Smokey Fred and Senator President Nobel Francis Jr. So, stay tuned. We're doing what we got to do. We're making sure you're informed, and you're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. And WTJX, Analyze This. We're going to play our part in making sure that everybody's okay. All the stations that you have talked about the country or anywhere, but everything okay. Enjoy the weekend. Okay, talk to you on Monday. Happy Columbus Day. Be good, be safe. Talk to you.
The views and opinions expressed on Analyze This are entirely those of the on-air participants and do not reflect that of the station's board, management, staff, or underwriters.
Hear my cry, oh, I take not to my prayer. From the end of the earth, where I cry out to thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. That is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me, and a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. That is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter, for thou hast been a shelter for me, and a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. That is higher than I. Did it come to Lord, hear my cry. I cannot do my prayer. From the end of the earth, where I cry out to thee. When my heart is overwhelmed, when my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. That is higher than I. For thou hast been a shelter for me, for thou hast been a shelter for me, and a strong tower, and a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, when my shelter for me. Like a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, somebody needs to fight the God. That is higher. Right now I'm being shot. For God, for God, a shelter for me. Like a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Oh, that is higher. So Lord, be the shelter. Oh, now has been the shelter. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I'm a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Glory that is higher than I. Now I've been a shelter. Glory to God. A shelter for me. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And a strong tower from the enemy. When my heart is overwhelmed, when my heart is overwhelmed, that is higher than I. That is higher than I. That is higher than I. Oh, that is higher than I. 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 Come on, lift up Jesus. That is higher than I. That is higher than I. Have you ever been there? That is higher than I. No one else can help you but Jesus. That is higher than I. Come on, just tell him how much you are. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. When a woman loves the man, she'll do anything she can. But I'm telling you, woman to woman, you living with a woman. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. He's telling you, he loves you. He's telling me, he loves me too. I'm telling you right now, he ain't got no heart. Hey, let you know right now, we're living with a woman. Woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman, woman to woman. When a woman loves the man, she'll do anything. But I'm telling you, woman to
Woman, you live with a whole of us. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. Woman to woman.
They come in for you tonight. They must reach home, must sleep all night. You wonder why the man shot just stay right. You wanna leave them walking over him all night. Y'all know only telling you the truth. If a man wanna cheat, and I think you can do. I'm telling you, woman to woman. You let them know what the man. Yeah, you let them know what the man. Woman to woman. Woman to woman. Nothing in the world can.
Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on Election Day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. Waiting 9 years for our only hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. If you agree that this behavior must end now, join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On Election Day, push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley. You know me. Yo, it's the VA Soca Diva. It's the real. Yo. Na 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 watch all day out in the street, mouth just running in the night. What if I fall onto the sea, cause it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Cause no one can do it like I do it, like a cork, like a pop do it. And just like in an ball, I'm planning to get on bad, but you know I'm ready for action. Just watch the spin of my face, that shows that need attention. It's time to pick up the pace. Watch the people live on metro, from Toronto and Seattle. And that's not here one thing is true. My soul just know what to do. Salute the professional soldier, bringing your hits and over and over. Salute the professional soldier, and like the truth when you know that you're sober. It's the way they all of your life. Don't just like that, it's like me, my things that like I'm so in the night. Yes, you know the road march is mine. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Yes, no one can do it like I do it. Like I talk, got the hair on the joint. And just like you understand, I plan it to get some bad, you know I take it for action. Just watch the screen of my face. That you something that attention is fine to pick up the pace. Watch the people live up in true. From Atlanta and New York too. And the sun here and it is true. I saw that you are so salute. Your commissioner so that when your hips them over and over. Salute. Your commissioner so that I make a joke when you know that you're sober. It's the way they all of your line. Don't be like this when we find you solid. I'm focused in the line. Yes, you know the whole match is mine. Na 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 Greetings. I am Elizabeth Hansen Watley. A senator not only controls the purse strings of the government, but advocates on your behalf when you need answers. Schools shuttered, unaffordable utility bills, poor health care, lack of resources for seniors, veterans, and the disabled community. We all know the issues. And unlike those who claim that you vote just because of fish fry, I know that you vote based on the good sense God gave you. I am stepping up to represent you as your senator. Please join me on Election Day. Push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
Waited 9 years for our home hospital to be restored is just unacceptable. Stories of alleged rationing of meds and life-changing supplies cannot be our new normal. You agree that this behavior must end now. Join me. If you are a healthcare provider, nurse, doctor, support staff, kitchen staff, maintenance worker, join me. It is time that your voices are heard. We all deserve better. On Election Day, push! Elizabeth Hansen Watley.
If you were only human, you would be a jealous person. I really never been touched. It's loneliness that made me go. I should have waited for you, honey. Oh, I should have been sure. We gotta fight. We gotta bubble up, chasing your crowd. I don't feel no way. You raise my girl for life. I promise never do it again. You is the reason why. Everybody calls you better. There is nobody else who do it better. Better from me, baby, if you are a sister.
Okay.
It's loneliness that made me go. I should have waited for you, honey. I should have been sure. We gotta fight. We gotta bubble up and coming up chasing your crowd. I won't feel no way. You is my girl for life. I promise never do this again. You is the reason why. Everybody calls you better. There is nobody else who do better. Better from me, baby, when you are a sister. Sometimes we wrong. Yes, I know we need to make it better for you. And that's why you come out to get me everything. You ease up my pain when I try to breathe. The only way I ever feel is if I trouble put you up. Take away my put you up. Take it up. Non-stop, yeah. They're ready for reality.
always go with the flow. That's kind of all I know. We always find out, find out. We gotta come along and find out. Take some shots and just be like you don't feel no way. You is my girl, but I promise never even to you is the reason why everybody goes to the better. There is nobody else who do it better. Better for me, baby, than you were to summer. Sometimes we roll down. That's all the things I make it fun to hold you. Everything. And that's why you come out to get you everything. You ease up my pain when I'm doing free. If you were only human, you would be a jealous person.
AM 970 WSTX.
When facing a difficult diagnosis, staying close to home and loved ones matters most. That's why, right here on St. Thomas and St. Croix, you have access to expert cancer care without leaving the islands. St. Thomas and St. Croix Cancer Specialists, your trusted partners in compassionate care. We proudly treat everyone, Medicare, Medicaid, private insurance, or uninsured. No need to travel far. Our team includes triple board certified oncologist Dr. Ellie Del Jaco, plus new specialists Dr. Taha, Dr. Jagarov, and Dr. Joseph. We're committed to your well-being and conveniently located in the VI Medical Foundation building behind Schneider Regional Medical Center and in Orange Grove, Christiansted. Visit stxcancerspecialists.com. Call 340-776-1551 for St. Thomas and 340-772-1551 for St. Croix. Expert care close to home because you deserve it.
Starting to feel the heat? Caribbean Cooling is your trusted oasis for all things air conditioning on St. Croix. With a forecast predicting a sizzling summer and an active hurricane season ahead, it's time to prepare. But don't wait until it's too late. At Caribbean Cooling, we've got you covered with top-notch AC brands like Gree, Mitsubishi, Trane. Whether it's chilling at home or staying productive at work, our units will keep you cool through the hottest days and the stormiest nights. Caribbean Cooling is licensed and insured and offers maintenance for all air conditioners. When was the last time you had your air conditioner serviced or had it inspected? Please call to schedule your complimentary estimate today. Visit us today at our location in Peters Rest, right across from Cost You Less. When it comes to staying comfortable, we're the coolest choice in town. Caribbean Cooling. We make sure you keep cool. Call us today, 340-773-2126.
This is Donna Fred Brady, your Democratic candidate for governor. In 2021, I successfully sponsored legislation to enact the Territorial Agriculture Plan with 8 mandates to boost local farming and strengthen our food security. This plan has not been fully implemented. It's time to get serious about building real agriculture business models, sustainable farming, and strong fisheries to produce our own food right here at home. Enough is enough. Time for results. On August 1st, vote Donna Gregory for governor and Rodney Moorhead for lieutenant governor.
Virgin Island people, they tell me they set and ready for this. They want strength in government. 2020.
Paid for by BI Now for DFG.
HHEP Current Battery. HHEP Current Battery.
We know St. Croix is tired of replacing tires every year, damaging tires, and constantly having flat tires. It costs you lots of time and money, and there is a better solution. HH Tire and Batteries sells Cooper tires and has for over 55 years. Used tires and low-quality tires may seem like a good choice, but in the long run, Cooper tires can withstand the daily punishment. Cooper tires also look and feel great. Your vehicle deserves the best tires on the road. Stop by our shop or call us today at 778-5962 to see what Cooper tires we have in stock for you. And we can always special order tires quickly if needed.
HHGP Tire Battery. HHGP Tire Battery. Service that you can trust.
Greetings. I am a volunteer with the Ready for VLA Senate 2026 committee. It is election season, and I am encouraging you to go out and vote on election day. The right to vote is a powerful one. If you have not yet registered to vote, please do so now. I know that many of us feel that it doesn't really matter whether we vote or not, but our local elections are important because they will determine how our individual and collective needs are met. Every aspect of our lives will be affected by the voting decisions we make. I am respectfully asking for your vote for a qualified, competent, and decisive individual whose focus has always been and will continue to be on the future of our Virgin Islands. Kurt VLA is always ready to serve. He's committed to this community and is passionately dedicated to the progress of St. Paul. I humbly ask that on August 1st, 2026, you vote Kurt VLA to the Senate. Kurt VLA is number 5 on the ballot. Thank you.
Paid for by friends of Kurt VLA to the Senate.
AM 970 WSTX.
Yeah! Get my shot. Get my shot. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. Sometimes you might cry when I feel inside. I just feel it come to rum, people don't come up and ride. So bother with me, rum makes me happy. Everybody somewhere, some of all of them, and he plays. Oh, no, I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I don't give a damn. Just want to have fun. Don't tell me you want to come. I know when I'm in that corner. Give me another shot. Boy, that is the water. Boy, that you just want me from the. But you know I forgot to learn. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. I can kill it, rum, 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 rum. You got me one shot. You can be a next shot. And if you need to, whether it's back, you know that's a back shot. Rather eat and no drive. I want to keep your life. So anytime I go out there and I drink, I tell you I go drive. Oh, no, I drink in the rum, 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 rum. I drink in the rum, 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 rum. I drink in the rum, 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 rum. I drink in the rum, 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 rum. Another shot of rum. You think what's the sound? Want to pull me down before I end up in the FM. Run the Disney play. When I shoot up play. As a matter of fact, give me a mother shot again. Oh, Lord. I can kill the rum, 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 rum. I can kill the rum, 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 rum. I can kill the rum, 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 rum. I can kill the rum, 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 rum.